welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. Week 2 in the new studio.
Yeah.
And as we talked about last week, the stuff behind us on the walls is a reflection, specifically picked out by you, a reflection of us.
Well, yeah, I still haven't. You still haven't picked out anything for me.
Oh,
so
wait, hold
I
on.
think,
Stop. I have.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so hopefully everybody's
shit.
watching this. Hold on one second.
Okay.
He
I'm
playing this
excited.
out. Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right.
All right. Everybody needs a picture of me as a pirate.
That might be the most hideous thing I've seen in
It's
my
very
entire
hideous.
life.
Arr.
Thanks? Question mark? Yeah, well, there you definitely commandeered a lot of time out of my life.
And it's very ironic because we're going to ask our listeners to text the word DREAM to 623AZ-RECON. That's the word DREAM to 623AZ-RECON. Came across an article, and depending on what platform you're listening to, we'll definitely include the link. And sometimes just a headline really pops out at me. And the headline is, "My wife and I make $215,000 a year, but now we struggle to make ends meet after buying our big forever home. Is the American dream even possible?" So my first point and challenge with this mindset, and I think really it becomes mindset, because last week we talked a lot about emotions and making emotional decisions when it comes down to real estate. I think there's a lot of people, and it's what we specialize in as real. I'm winded just from that 10, 15 foot little jog over there. Holy schmoly.
Gosh.
Man, I'm out of shape. But it's we talk about the emotional side, and I find that there's a lot of buyers out there that are just focused on that dream home. And what is that definition of the American dream? And what we do on our team as a group of real estate wealth managers is really focus on the American dream is not about a forever home, because most people, especially in Arizona, don't pick forever homes unless they're, retired. But really, for me, Ryan, the American dream is all about what does retirement look like, have control of retirement, be able to make those decisions, and using real estate as a vehicle in which to get there and to build wealth.
Yeah, I mean, the American dream or whatever, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to get all philosophical, but, I mean, it's a journey. And let's just, again, pulling away from any type of cliches, you're going to wake up one morning in that lavish palace that you might have just, leveraged to the tilt in order to get, and blah, blah, blah. And one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be tired of it. I mean, realistically, these things, they just come and go. And so I see something like this, and I'm like, okay, what you did is you set a benchmark, you accomplished it. I'm happy for you. That's really good. Whether you got there through working your ass off in a 9-to-5 with a W-2 job, or if you're an entrepreneur and you made it through that fight, whatever. But like, that's why we've developed the investment concepts that we've developed, right, is to help draw a roadmap to get to the next one. And so I think that people are just they have this thing in their head, they have this vision in their head that this is going to provide the platform for memories to be made with family, this and that, and it's just plumb not true. But all that aside, the market has changed, and it's going to continue to change. And guess what? There's cliches again. They're not making any more dirt, but they're making a hell of a lot more people on a daily basis, right? And so things are going to cost more. Inflation is a thing. People aren't going to magically start saying, you know what, I'd be happy to perform that service or provide that good for less money when they know that they can get more. It's just, that's not the way capitalism works. And so I think really what the struggle with most people that they don't even realize is a struggle is consistently reevaluating their expectations, because what you can get today is not what you're going to be able to get tomorrow. And so you need to be able to change that and say, hey, look, if I want this today, then you need to jump on it today. if you want to hang out on the sidelines because you're waiting to figure out who was going to get elected, or you're waiting for an interest rate to do this or that, or you're waiting for whatever, and you didn't jump on opportunities, then you don't get to blame the American dream. You don't get to blame your job. You don't get to blame your income. You have only yourself to blame. And I hate to sound crass, but I mean that's the direct truth, and that's ultimately what that's what I can provide. But it doesn't always come. It doesn't always come with that sweet a taste in your mouth.
Well, yeah, we're working on your sensitivity skills.
I know. I need sensitivity training. That's true.
All right. Well, if this message is ringing true to you, and you would like some more information on how do you start that journey, whether you've never owned a home before, or own a home thinking about selling it, or owned 20 homes, and you're looking for that next step to building wealth in real estate, we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word DREAM to 623-AZ-RECON. That's DREAM to 623-AZ-RECON. Justin, the second part of the story that pops out at me, because again, and it's not that I don't think that people aren't smart. I just don't think people are aware of their options. Mm-hmm. And we make real estate decisions without knowing all of the options, because maybe we haven't surrounded ourselves with the right people, such as ourselves. But in this specific story, what this family did is they sold home number one to take all the equity out and put it down on home number two. And then they ended up doing that. So they probably, I'm just going to assume, because I don't know all the facts, I'm going to assume home number one probably had a lot better interest rate than their current home. But they took all of that equity out because, again, that mindset, I want the American dream. I want my dream home, rather than focused on the future, focused on retirement, and didn't necessarily explore the option of, hey, can I keep home number one? Probably got a stellar interest rate, put a renter in there, generate, monthly income, and then go out buy home number two. And now I'm on my way, because now I got multiple homes in my real estate portfolio.
I think the biggest problem with America right now is just we want instant gratification, and things take time. We do see a lot of people trying to get their dream home in the 30s, early 30s, but you nailed it, and I do think it has a lot to do with who you surround yourself with, what type of advice you're getting. If you were able to make an income stream for that first home that you had an incredible interest rate on, that's as good as cash just sitting there in a loan, right? And then maybe move to something more economical, build some more wealth, start renting out house number two, and then maybe one or two more houses, or just go to the American dream, the big giant house. I think it's good to make a plan, really sit down and see what that looks like. But what I also see here is they said they sold house number one and they took money from their savings. So I'm assuming they probably depleted most of their savings to get into this house to make the payments affordable. That's not a good idea when you're moving from a smaller home to a larger home, because with a larger home comes larger costs, larger utility bills, larger repairs, things like that.
More taxes.
Absolutely. Definitely water bills.
This is just not the way that wealthy people think and behave. And so it's I like, the best metaphor I can come up with is, imagine if you had a job and you said, you know what, I want to take on this other job that is the same money but more responsibilities. And what you're doing is, when you are selling something, that is exactly what you're doing. Now, if you were to hold on to it, then it'd be like saying, hey, look, I'm going to take on this new job, but I'm going to keep the income from the old job. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take on this new job that's bigger and badder and, more responsibilities. But then you have both of that income there. And obviously there's a lot of different other strategies and financial elements that you need to take into account before you're starting to make those decisions. But I see it happen day in and day out, and it would be foolish for anyone to get rid of an old job, take on a new job that's just going to produce the same results but just require more responsibilities.
So, quick question for you guys, and again, and I like the point you brought up, Ryan. Of there's just a difference how some people think, and then there's a difference on how wealthy people think. And what we specialize in is taking the average American and help them think like a wealthy person does. But and granted, you might have given me a different answer when you were 24 years
For
old
sure, I would
or
have.
whatever the case is. But I look at life right now and go, what's more important to you right now, the house that you live in, or what retirement looks like, and being able to control retirement and being able to do the things that you want to do? Because there's a rumor out there that if it holds true, we're gonna like our grandkids better than we liked our own kids. That's what I hear.
I've heard that rumor a few times.
Yeah. You have to give them back whenever you want to. Set them down. It's sad. And so I read over this, but there's a lot of compelling things that are happening here and a lot of moving parts that I'm just like, man, there's a lot of good takeaways to be learned here. And I think that even if I was able to sit down and have a conversation with these folks right now, what would that conversation look like? Right now, obviously, I would say, okay, you're in a position right here where you need more income streams. There's plenty of money out there. There's plenty of opportunities out there, and whether it be in your own backyard or whether it be somewhere else that you need to go in order to find that other income stream to make that $215,000 annual combined income go up, or to make the total debt service of all of their things, including this American dream home that they have here. We would just have to explore a lot of those and look at it through the lens of how wealthy people look at it, and just break that down and develop that plan, whatever that plan is. Because the other big misnomer is, we were talking about what my answer would have been when I was 20. Well, I'm in my 40s now, and I can promise you that well into my 50s, I'm going to continue to be an investor. I'm still going to look for new opportunities for new revenue streams and new creative ways in order to build wealth and share that information. So it's never too late.
I'll say $215,000 a year, and I get to see everybody's income streams coming in, and a household income of $215,000 a year is a dramatic amount. I don't feel bad for these people the way they set everything up, but the sad part is majority of the people that come into me are pushing things to the absolute max, and you can tell that they're pushing things so much because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and
You're exactly right.
and they're going to put themselves in a mess. Even when you see people make this much money, you see them push themselves to the absolute max. When you got to have that ability to live comfortably, and I think that's something that people don't understand with being an investor is you set yourself up to live comfortably because you have to weather storms. You have to but you're also setting your investments up to make money on a monthly basis, so it helps make life more comfortable. Like I said, I don't feel bad for the way they did this, because
what I feel bad is that they didn't have the opportunity to talk to somebody that
100%.
could guide them through the real estate decision-making process through the prism of building wealth.
Somebody sold them, right? And here's the sad part. Overextending yourself is not an event. It's a habit. And so this isn't the house's fault. I promise you, if we dug into all their finances, they have
guaranteed multiple car loans,
vehicles, maybe a boat, maybe an RV,
tons of credit card debt,
bunch of bullshit that's just sitting out
got
there.
all new furniture when they got in the new house,
Right,
had to have it right away.
So they've made it a habit to take on more liabilities and less assets, less income. And so that's how they ended up here. Otherwise, I don't know if this is $1 million, $2 million, a $4.4 million home, whatever. It's never going to pencil out with those types of habits.
Well, for me, we work with a wide variety of people, from millionaires to tens of millions of dollars to first-time home buyers. My favorite, all of them, and we do a handful every single year, are those first-time home buyers under the age of 25, 26. Because when we get our hands on them and they're buying home number one, they understand that they're going into this with the idea that this is just home number one of many, and we're not selling that home to get to that next dream home. All right. Well, anyways, if we would love to have that conversation with you, whether for you or a grandchild or a child, we would love to help put you on the path to understanding how to leverage real estate, your options when it comes down to selling, and the questions that you need to ask, and really just getting on the path to building wealth in real estate. It starts by you texting the word DREAM to 623-AZ-RECON. That's DREAM to 623-AZ-RECON.